You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is the case of Galloway versus Harris.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone. Ms. Galloway, you say you became pregnant with your first child at 14 years old. And even with that young start, you maintain that all your children know and have been accepted by their fathers until now.
Yes, Your Honor.
You've petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that Mr. Harris is the father of your 9-month-old twins, Shekinah and Malachi Galloway. Mr. Harris, you state that you're a family man who first became a father at the age of 12, going on 13. Although that child was yours, you're certain that Ms. Galloway's twins are not.
Yes, Your Honor.
You all got started having babies way too young. How did you get together?
Well, Your Honor, actually it wasn't a relationship, Your Honor. It was just one night stands and here and there pleasurable moments, to be honest, Your Honor. I mean, when I met her, it was in church, like usual, like the rest of her baby daddies. I mean, I'm gonna keep it real.
First off, I was dating someone that he knew.
A musician?
Yeah, a musician that he knew. We ended up needing a ride home on a particular day, and the guy that I was dating called him up. And so he came and gave us a ride to my apartment complex. The guy that I knew, you walked down the street to, drop his kids off, and Mr. Harris here helped me to the door with my groceries. And he said, so when you gonna let me in the house? I said, what you talking about? He said, when you gonna let me come over? I said, the only time you're gonna come over is if we're having a Bible study. Okay, so, as time goes by, I do occasionally see him in the churches playing or whatever, so, I do start conversating with him. And then there was a situation where he was gonna be walking, he said he was walking from Shands Hospital in Jacksonville to not even knowing where he was gonna go, and this was Christmas Eve, and I said, okay, well, I don't have my kids this evening, and, it's cold outside, you're gonna be walking by yourself, you know what, I'll meet you. So we walked to a van where he knew that the doors were gonna be unlocked. So we go in the van.
You talking about?
We go into the van
Your friend
and we sleep in the van that night.
We didn't sleep in the van, we had sex in the van that
We
night.
slept in the van. We slept in the van that night, and he didn't touch me or anything that night. So I felt comfortable, like everything was gonna be okay. So the next morning is when I'm waking up, I'm feeling him.
Okay,
That's not the truth.
go past that part.
Okay, so we end up getting involved. We did get involved in that van the next morning because that night, I felt comfortable with it. I felt like it was okay or whatever.
You met him in church.
Yes.
And the next thing you know, you having sex with him in an abandoned van?
Yes, ma'am.
You did not use protection.
No, I didn't.
We did not use
no,
protection, and it was like maybe 3 minutes, and then he was like, okay, I have to use
3
the
minutes,
restroom.
45 minutes.
You mean
45 minutes?
You mean 4 to
And
5
saying-
minutes?
you saying
'Cause it was
30
not no 4 to 5
okay.
minutes.
Well, it was long enough to potentially produce 2 beautiful babies.
That was just the first occasion. There was actually another occasion because, after the first time of, it only being that short, maybe he could, do a little something more. So maybe, that short period of time wasn't all
Was he auditioning?
No.
I believe so, Your Honor.
He wasn't auditioning, but that night, once again, we did get involved, but that was another short-lived experience, that 5 minutes, but we didn't use protection that night, but January 3rd is when my cycle was supposed to show, and it didn't. And like it was.
Well, I guess it wouldn't. All this unprotected sex. Do you all understand when you don't use protection, you can get pregnant? You do understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
But you're still doing it.
Yes, ma'am.
So you come up pregnant.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you say? What do you tell him?
Okay, so January 18th is when I took the home pregnancy test. Mm-hmm. And that's when I sent him the text message and the pictures. Now, right after that, I went to the emergency room and she said that you have 2 babies. And I'm like, okay, 2 babies, you got the wrong person. She was like, no, this is you. You're 10 weeks long now. And this is 2 babies right here I see. So I'm picking up the phone, I'm calling, I'm hysterical. Like, hold on now, she said we have just 2 babies.
Call me. When I found out about these babies, Your Honor, in fact, Your Honor, it was on Facebook. With a picture
Jerome, let me see that evidence, please.
With a picture of the babies and my other 2 daughters that I do take care of and not a deadbeat too. And her saying, you are the father.
Why would you just post this? I mean, because you're not just posting Mr. Harris to embarrass him. You got your kids' faces up there.
Right after I told him that I was having twins, shortly after he ended up leaving Florida, and
I had to
he
leave
stopped
'cause you
calling.
slandered all- you
Look,
cost
he
me all
stopped
my
calling
work.
like he used to, and she's not here today as a witness. But you know, the lady that I stay with she
don't even
saw
like me.
everything that happened. She was the one who was listening to the phone calls. She was like, I don't know why you're doing this, and even a friend Lonnie was telling me you don't want
Your
to.
ex-boyfriend that you was with before you was with me?
You don't want to. That's a lie. He
That's
said,
a lie.
don't
You
wanna
was
deal
with him at the same
anyway.
time. How you gonna say me? You got Lonnie, you got, and in
That's a lie.
fact, Lonnie played the keyboard with me if you want to be in
That's
fact
a
real.
lie.
Natasha
continue.
divorced Lonnie due to the fact of him
continue.
cheating and going behind women I had. So let's be real.
continue.
Don't hide that.
To continue.
So hold on.
okay.
Let me understand this. Mr. Harris, you're saying that Ms. Galloway also slept with some other musicians that played at the church
Man,
with you?
Lonnie is a musician. He plays the keyboard.
And Lonnie
he
is
had a
Mr.
relationship-
Samuel.
Right, Mr. Lonnie Samuel.
And he's here in court with us as well.
I'm so glad because Mr. Samuel actually Mr. Samuel, me and Mr. Samuel was cool until we fell out behind a woman. And due to the fact that Mr. Samuel going behind, chasing behind 3 or 4 other girls I was with, Mr. Samuel was married. His wife divorced him due to the fact of what he was doing. During the time that me and Miss Galloway had what we had going on, she was showing me Facebook messages from Mr. Samuel. Oh, baby, I miss you. You need to let me come back.
So you believe the twins' father is Mr. Samuels? If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Did you sleep with more than one man, Miss
Not at the
Galloway,
same
during
time.
the period of conception?
No. I was only talking to him. That's why I said she's
wasn't
not
talking.
here 'cause she's working.
No,
Sending
that's what
text
y'all
messages.
should have been doing, was just talking.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
You have no doubt.
No
in your
doubt.
mind.
Not at all. Not at all, because during this time, like I said,
Did you sleep with Mr. Samuels too?
No.
That's a lie.
That is not a lie. That is not a lie.
You and Mr. Samuel slept together.
Me and
you
you
told me
never
out
used
this. You told me out your own mouth. Just like the
He is
boyfriend
lying.
you had before you met me and had sex with me. You was
You
talking
are trying
that
to
was a
throw up
musician.
everything that you can.
It ain't no case. You only want child support.
Are you serious?
Your Honor.
Your Honor,
I
2
know my
weeks
proof and
after
my
he
facts,
had
Your
that,
Honor.
not even 2 weeks
These-
after he had
Your
the
Honor.
pictures on Facebook,
First
he took
of
the
all,
pictures
Your Honor,
down.
Yes, sir.
when it comes to claiming, I'm far from a deadbeat because I take care of anything I make. I went on and did my research. First of all, if you say that my kids, you don't got nothing in the father space. You can put an alleged father,
He
and in
talk about
Florida,
how he
see
they would
that. He
get
didn't
you,
even
Your Honor.
do
This is
anything,
both
but
birth
again,
certificates that's
look,
left play. On top of that, Your
What
Honor,
is this research and what is this evidence?
if you know for a certain fact I'm the father, one thing for sure, like I always said, where's my last
Right.
name? Because if you want to uphold some leverage
And
on
so
somebody, you're
what
going to give a
you
child a man last
presented
name.
to the court here are copies of the children's birth certificates.
Correct, Your Honor.
Where the father's information is
Not
blank.
Is
Correct,
not
Your
on
space
there.
intentionally left blank.
Right.
If
She
you
had an
are,
option to
if
put the
he's
name right
acting
there,
how
and
he's
then
acting,
Duval
I'm trying to
County
give him the
would have
opportunity
contacted
to
me and
even
said,
go.
Mr. Harris, we need you to come do a DNA test for these children because you was
And
listed as
your
the father.
thinking is she did not put your name or list your name as father because
She's not even sure if I'm the father.
DCF has been trying to get in contact with him.
That's a lie.
I call him, when are you going to take a paternity test? Because they're looking for you. Oh, you can just give them my number. Give them your number. No, they need your address. They need
That's
to know
not
who
true,
you are.
'cause you
I
been
just
calling my
contacted
other baby
DCF
mama in the
recently,
inbox
and
on
DCF
Facebook.
said, hey, we send these things to 2 different addresses. We've been trying to get to him, but we can't
Your
get
Honor.
to him.
Your
All
Honor.
right. I want to hear from Mr. Samuels. Jerome, can you please escort him into the courtroom?
Certainly.
Mr. Harris, you contend that Ms. Galloway slept with Mr. Samuels. Ms. Galloway, you say that's not true.
Exactly.
All
That's
right,
the
let's
father.
hear what Mr. Samuels has to
That's
say.
the father, Mr. Samuels. That's the daddy. Yeah, that's the daddy right there.
Mr. Samuels, we've heard testimony today. Mr. Harris has indicated he believes you had a sexual relationship with Ms. Galloway. Ms. Galloway says that's not true. Mr. Harris contends that you are, in fact, the father of the twins.
No, ma'am, I am not the father of the twins. Look at him, y'all know. Come on now, look at him, look at the babies. Think about it. Ray is known as being a hoe.
Okay, let's speak respectfully. Say it nicely.
I'm sorry, y'all know. Okay, well, he's known for being a dog.
I'm a dog. What are you? Your wife know you here right now?
Okay.
Your wife even know you down here right now.
Okay, we had the same past. We did.
How many of my women did you chase? Like, come on, Lonnie, let's be real.
Okay, yeah,
You wanna
yeah,
tell
I
the
did
story?
that. Yeah,
How
I
many
chased
women
it.
of
Yeah, I
mine you
chased
chased?
Calm down.
Come on.
I chased it.
How many,
I chased
didn't your ex-wife leave you because
No, actually, we got divorced.
No,
We
your
got
wife got
divorced.
divorced because
We
you
got
slept with
divorced.
the woman I was with. Come
Okay,
on, let's be
listen.
real.
Mr. Samuels, you say you've never had a sexual relationship with Miss
No,
Galloway.
ma'am.
What is your relationship like with the twins?
But basically, when she had the twins, like I got remarried, so me and my wife went over there to the house, and you know we seen the babies. And the thing about when I picked them up, I said, "Oh yeah, I knew who the father is. These twins." They basically, like, they look just like him. He can't deny you, especially a little girl. He cannot deny that child, y'all know. Then when the kids got sick, she tell me, I be like, "Well, where's Mr. Harris?" Oh,
Lonnie, if you knew that, why you ain't never hit me in the inbox, Lonnie?
Think about it. Now you know we was
cool. Now you know we was cool. We fell out over a woman. Come on, let's be real.
All right, let's talk one at a
Come on.
time. I want to understand this. You said
Why
what,
you ain't
Mr.
never hit me up?
Samuels?
Okay, basically when the twins got sick, I asked Mr. Galloway, I said, "Where's Ray?" She said, "Oh, he's not doing enough for the kids. He's not trying to do nothing." And based on us, I went to the store and I got the Tylenol because the babies had a fever. I love kids. I got kids myself. I got 3. So basically, okay, she called me and be like, "Oh, they're sick. I'm saying, can you help me out? Okay, if I got the money, yeah, I'll help you out."
So you pretty much stepped up
Yes,
like
ma'am.
a father would
Yes,
for
ma'am.
these twins.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Harris,
Your Honor, I never denied none of my children. I have 2 other daughters.
You doing it
and
now?
the son, I have 2 other daughters and a son. They done been to church with me, the same pastors who was slandering my name and costing me to work.
it affected your livelihood.
Yes, it did, Your Honor.
Explain to the court how.
Okay, I do private security and I also was a musician.
Okay.
And a lot of my contracts came through different pastors and other people. One day I was sitting at home and a pastor called me. He said, "You ought to be ashamed of yourself doing your girl like that, ain't taking care of them kids, just running around her, got her out there. She already got 5 kids, what kind of man is you?" So I told the pastor, I say, "Look here, first of all, I done made attempts, I ain't getting nothing from it, don't call me with that. Just like that, if you wanna know something, tell her to give me a DNA test and we can go from there." Then I hung up the phone on him. A gospel rapper called me and asked me, "Man, what's going on with you and her, man? You denying the kids like that, you going in like that." It made me look like a bad person. The person feel like, what I'm gonna pay you some money for and you ain't even taking care of your own responsibilities.
How much money specifically have you lost because
All
of this?
together, about $3,900. It cost me shows. People didn't want me to be their musician no more.
He claims that I'm the one that's slandering his name, but then he also says that all these women are trying to pin babies on him.
And
The
he
other
said
2
the
girls that he
message
claimed
on
that he was
Facebook,
taking care of,
something
he
similar
says,
to the one
"Oh,
you got."
they slept with another
I'm doing my
person. They
research
slept
on
with
him.
somebody else, so they should get a paternity test too. They slept with
Both
this
of you
one,
all
so-
doing a lot of research and you need to be doing a lot less sex. Everything is now you gotta research somebody. You're supposed to research somebody before you ever have sex with them.
You're right.
But where do you work, Miss Galloway?
I'm a full-time student. I'm unemployed.
You're a full-time student
Yes, ma'am.
with no job.
Not anymore.
Never was
Now,
the
Mr.
goal.
Harris,
Yes, Your Honor.
you think Miss Galloway, should be responsible for this $3,900 that you lost because you're saying you lost jobs because she went around talking about you were a father to her twins and you were not stepping up to the plate and you were a deadbeat.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that is your countersuit.
Yes, it is.
All right. I can rule on that, but only after I get the results. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Not to put the blame on anybody, I grew up without my father in my life. And so it was hard for me to identify with dealing with men and knowing whether or not a man actually loved you or would care for you and wanted to take care of you. And
And
so on
you're
and so
looking,
forth.
listen, you didn't even have to tell me that story for me to know that. Because there's no way a beautiful young girl like you should be running around giving away herself for free over and over and over again. And make no mistake, you shouldn't be getting paid for it either. That's not the point I'm making.
Yes, ma'am.
What I'm saying is that's your body, that's your temple, that's your
Right.
spirit, that's your soul. You laying down with men, and then when you trying to find them, they running all around the country, marrying other people in here, trying to deny children that they've produced with you, and you left not holding the bag, but holding 5 children with no job. I'm happy you're getting your education because you're gonna need it.
Yes.
Got mine.
Jerome, I'm ready. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Galloway versus Harris, pertaining to 9-month-old twins, Shekinah and Malachi Galloway, it has been determined by this court. Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. In the case of Galloway versus Harris, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Samuels, you are not the father. Mr. Harris, you are the twins' father. Well, my research says that you're in fact the biological father. How many children do you have?
It's 9, Your Honor.
9 children. I'm so frustrated. I really am. This is not how you live life.
You're right.
Your destiny and your purpose is not to be baby-making factories. What are you doing with your life? You all better stop having babies. Both of you. Now, as for your countersuit, the defense to defamation of character is the truth, baby. You are the father. You haven't taken care of them. She's not lying. Therefore, your countersuit is denied. Are we clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
Court is adjourned.